作怪啊、作死啊、作法啊 ，OK 作狀 ，OK。sometimes we still have say 你作嘢啊。Because 作業is making or creating 位嘢is something 位用到嘅位作嘢 that means are you making a lie or you telling a lie or you make up a story. For example, if someone told you something and then you will say that 哇你作嘢啊，你作得咁叻嘅，哇你作嘢都幾叻喎。That means 哇 you are really quite skillful in making up your own story. Of course, when you say someone 作嘢咧，you don't believe that. Okay, yeah, then you will say 你作嘢啦。So this 作 means will create. Make something up, okay? Make up some of your own stories, okay? 即係作嘢啦嚇。So you can really add the 作with many other words to have different meanings. Yeah. So now do you want to go to the theme that I've thought of for you? Yeah. I think of maybe we can talk about the names, okay? If you welcome a baby, okay, to your family, okay, maybe it's time for you to think about the names, okay? And then names in English, when we ask you what is your name, usually we expect just for example, I'm Mary, you are Peter, like this way. But when we ask in Chinese 你咩名啊嗱names is 名 or 姓名 okay when we use two words 姓名咧 then we will read it as 名 okay actually they are the same word 名嘅名 are the same word and then you have learned for the very beginning that some words have two sounds. For example, 請 and 請位，聽 and 聽位 ，and then 名 and 名啦。OK， so 姓名 but 名 OK 你咩姓名啊？你咩名啊 ？Usually we don't expect you just for example my name is 小英 OK and then when people ask me 你叫咩名啊？你咩姓名啊 ？OK we don't expect just the name 小英 or for example my surname my last name is 陳 OK then Chinese will start the last name first that means the surname first so that's why actually you should not be called last name because we have our surname first okay but English speaking people you have your surname as the appear at the last okay so you call it as last name so my surname is for example 陳啦 then my name is 陳小英啦 if someone ask me 你叫咩名 I will tell them my whole name I won't just say my name is 小英嘅喎 okay I will say that 我係陳小英 okay unless if your relative ask you for example you know that some relatives seen you one time when you were born and then maybe after 10 years, 20 years, right? Or they come to your home and then ask you, 你叫咩名啊 or your parents, colleagues and friends come to your house the first time and then they ask the children, 你叫咩名啊 then you will tell them that 我叫小英啦 because they of course they know your surname, okay? So you don't need to tell them your surname. But for example, if I meet some stranger or I was addressed in some occasions, some people come to me and ask me, 你叫咩名啊？你咩姓名啊？ Then I will tell them the whole name, especially when they ask you 姓名 because 姓名咧 is 姓 and 名 You know the Chinese, the two word terms in Chinese you can really separate to represent two meanings. 姓 is your surname, 名 is your name. But usually we connect them together because usually we expect the whole name. So usually we will say that 你咩姓名啊？你嘅姓名係乜嘢都會識陳小英 or if we just ask 你叫咩名 we also expect the whole name especially just now when I say that in certain occasions that people not close to you people don't know you then even they ask you 你叫咩名啊你係咩名啊 OK only 名 OK you still give them your whole name OK so 我叫陳小英我係陳小英我姓陳叫小英我個名係陳小英，我嘅姓名係陳小英。Unless we won't really ask you 你姓咩啊 ？OK，then I will just answer as 我姓陳。And then And then in Chinese, to be humble, you cannot find in English to be humble. What is your last name? Oh, my little last name is Chen, like this, okay? Or is for example, golden, okay? My little last name is golden. You won't be humble in this way to add little. But in Chinese, we really say that 我嘅小名係我嘅小名，我小姓。我小姓陳 Then you wonder why 小姓咧姓 also have a big and small, large and little. No, but because we tend to be humble, and then we will call up if people ask my surname, I will say that 小姓陳。小姓陳 I can just say that 我姓陳 but this sounds not humble, not polite enough, especially you are addressed by a stranger in certain occasion, and then you want to show that you are well educated, humble, polite in certain situations that even maybe for example even maybe you even you are not a common figure, maybe even you are a celebrity, or even you are a rich person, or even you are a person with certain status. When people ask you, when you address yourself, if you say that 我小姓陳 it's still a way of humbleness. Of course, if you are really very well known, okay, or you are for example, this event is hosted by you, or this event invited a very high-rank government official to be the guest, okay? And then you are the high-rank official. Of course, when you come, people already know you, and then you don't need to say 我姓陳 now, okay? When you but usually to show your humbleness, we will add 小姓陳, okay? Yeah, 小姓啦. So sometimes if the people doesn't know Chinese culture, they will just directly translate 小 is little or small. So my little surname is 陳. That will be quite fun. So 小姓陳. Or sometimes we say that 我姓陳小名一個單字英for example if I'm called 陳英 okay 我姓陳小名咧一個英字。So you also see that 小名 that means I also show my humbleness to say that my name is only a little name, okay? 小名咧係阿英或者小名一個英字，或小名麗英 ，okay? 麗 means pretty, okay? So you can see that to learn Chinese not only just to learn the meaning of each word, but the ways of expressing yourself, especially in certain situations. Is far more important. That's why the joke that I have told you in a conference meeting between the China leader and the U.S. leader, right? The translator when he translates, I think it's Deng Xiaoping or I think it's Deng Xiaoping, okay? And then he said that because the translator translated the U.S. Representative said that China has a great development recently, and then to be humble, then he said that 哪里 that means actually should be translated as to show the humbleness. That means not worthy of your praise. If to be really translated in English, just a small step, okay, not worthy of your praise. Thank you so much. Or I just say thank you, right? For the English-speaking people, every praise you just say thank you so much, okay? Then it's all right. But for Chinese, we seldom say thank you. Even really someone praise you, we say 你太客氣啦，就是你太客氣啦， or actually the same meaning, not worthy of your praise. And then when they say 哪裡 also 哪裡啦in Cantonese 就係邊度 then people translate as where, okay, but it's not where. The culture shows humbleness. So the 哪裡咧 means actually you can translate to thank you. Actually, if in English, actually the meaning is not worthy of your praise. It is only a small step, okay? Like this, okay? So must understand the culture. So when you try to make a name for your baby. Of course, there are some names usually used for girls, some names used for boys, but it is not so distinct like that in English. For example, in English, most of the names either for boys, either for girls. Even if the names are similar, for example, Eugene is for boys, okay, but Eugenie is for ladies, okay. That's why the teachers in Britain, okay, I think should be the grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth. I think it should be the daughter of Prince Edward or Andrew, I forgot, okay. So his name is also Eugenie, okay. So Eugenie is for ladies, Eugene is for boy, okay. Or sometimes Jackie, boys or girls will use sometimes Jackie, okay. Only some example, some exceptions that both boy or girl use the same exactly the same name, okay, without a little bit alterations. But Chinese usually most of the name either for ladies or for boys, but are not so strict. For example, I tell you first something. For example, if you want your daughter to sound as to be more masculine, okay, to have some male character. Maybe some parents will give them a male name. For example, especially when they want to show themselves as a man more than as a lady. For example, there is a very famous classic opera celebrity, okay, in the I think 50s and 60s, okay, of course that already. Her name is called Yang Jianying. Actually, she's a lady. I only find that she's a lady when I have already watched her films for many years, okay. Yeah, and because her name is a male name, Jianying. Ji means short, Fai means billions. So usually you will give this name to a man, because usually the Chinese concept, they want their daughters to be quiet, to be more feminine, to act elegantly. So of course they don't want their daughters to use sword, okay, or to learn martial art, right? Especially in the past. So they won't give such name brilliance and sword, okay. So the word itself already refine you to give to ladies or boys. For example, Jianying, one of the leaders of the Communist Party. I think he's also dead, maybe I think only 10 years ago, okay. So I think he should be the first generation of those in power in the Communist Party, in the Chinese Communist Party. So Jianying also usually given to a man, okay, because Jim just now I say the sword, okay. Ying, the word Ying itself usually both men and women can use, both boy and girls can use. Only the Ying, for example, just now I say Xiao Ying or Feng Ying, because Feng itself usually be used by ladies. For example, Lai Ying, Lai means pretty, okay. You seldom call a man as pretty, right? Okay, so usually the Ying given to ladies, but sometimes when it is connected with Jin, because Jin means short, usually used for men, right? So Jianying, I still haven't met some ladies some ladies whose names are connected with Jin. Unless it's Jianying, because she take it only because she act as a male character in all those movies. So she, as a lady, she tried to present herself as a male, okay, in all her movies. So that's why he take this name Kim Fai, and that's why I think he is a man for many years. Okay, because he always performed as a very smart, handsome man in those classic operas. Okay, I heartbroken when I found that she's a lady. Okay, so 所以咧劍英咧 means 英姿颯颯啦，英咧 usually means you have that kind of brilliant appearance. Usually actually should belong to men. Should belong to men. But I don't know from what time that ladies would like to use this word ying. Okay. But usually when ladies use that ying, they will connect with 麗英美英all those are concerned with beauty. So that you know that this is a lady's name, okay? But 劍英when connect with sword, then you usually think of it is a male's name. So when people look at the name, they already know that it is a man or woman. But the name can be so similar, okay? Not like Mary and Peter, always surely a boy's name or a girl's name. But 劍英and 麗英, you must understand the meaning of each word and then the culture. Okay, usually 劍 we won't use it for ladies because no parent would like their daughters to hold sword or anything like this. For example, usually for 美 usually for beauty So for example, the male's name usually 華 okay, 華 華 sometimes we use for ladies, sometimes we use for men. But when we use 華 中華 means Chinese or 華 the word 華 actually means 花 means flower. The 華 actually is equal to flower. Okay, and then later we have 中華 for China. Okay, and then 華人 for Chinese. Okay, because the 華already used to represent the land and the people in that region, right? But originally the 華 itself actually equals to flower. Okay, so 華 can be used for ladies, can be used for men, because originally it is used as it has the same meaning as flower. So you understand why ladies will use that name, because flower, right? But because of 華 for example, we have a very famous hill, mountain in China. It's called 華山. When you think of 華山 if you know those martial art movies or martial art novels, Chinese novel, 華山 usually is a place for those great martial art fighters or warriors to contest. Okay, to contest in their martial arts. So when you think of 華山 also you think of fighting. Okay, you think of a martial art. So also a name should be linked up with a man. But originally it should be linked up with flower, with ladies. But since then should be linked up with men. So you for example, my brother's name also has a word 華. Okay. So that's why for men, okay. But when you use 華 for men, because we usually have two character name, right? Usually, okay. So when we will add, for example, 少華 or 劍華 for men. But we will add 麗華, 美華 for lady, because 麗and 美usually used for lady. You seldom describe a man as a 美華 or 麗華. If a man take the name as 美華 or 麗華, surely his classmate would laugh at him. Are you a girl? You are called 美華 or 麗華, like this, okay? But 劍華 for boys. So you can see that only a word difference will actually be used either in man or woman. Otherwise, you will be laughed. Okay, will become a joke. 少華 also usually used for men. Because maybe 少華. 少 少 and 少. 少 actually means less. Okay, comparing fewer and less. 少 means less. 少 means small or little. Okay, different tone. The word is also different. 少 you have a long stroke. 少 you only just have two two dots on both sides. You have practiced the word 小 like this, and then two dots on both sides. And then if 小 you have a long stroke at the bottom, a long slanting stroke at the bottom. Okay, so this is 小 啦. But usually 小 means less. Okay, or younger. Okay, younger. For example, the age whose age is younger. That is 小 啦. Okay, Or we say 多or we can say 多少without stroke 咧 is 大小 means big or small. Okay, but 多少咧 means 多定少咧 that means more or less, a lot or just a few. Okay, then that is 少啦. So sometimes you can be read as 少, sometimes you read as 少. Okay, depends. Okay, for example 少年人少年 means the youngster, the youth. Then that is 少年 That's 少年 with a long stroke. Okay, only 大小咧is has no stroke. 多少少年人then that is你多啲我少啲喎，我唔想食咁多，我想食少啲。That means I want to have a fewer or less. 咁少啲啦 ，less or fewer or smaller in number， 等即係少啦，我有 smaller in age， 即係少啦。咁即係咁，但係咧少咧 no stroke 咧就係大小 big or small， refer to the size。OK， yeah。So 笑話咧 usually we will use for boys. Why? Maybe because we have for those ladies we have a lot of words. For example, we have 美啦，美華啦，麗華啦，翠華啦，以華啦。We have many names for ladies. So that's why maybe we usually use the 笑咧for boys 笑華笑峰笑明like this Okay, so but of course the 笑 quite neutral. If you want to use for ladies, still okay. For example, if you use 笑 for ladies, 笑英啦 because 英 used for ladies 嘛，笑英笑眉笑笑眉笑玲OK, then those are for ladies because not for the 笑 because the 玲眉明usually for the ladies. Okay, yeah. 零咧就係many girls have the 零零咧 can means actually it also has a radical of a jewel. Okay, people think that it is a radical actually it's not it's jewel. Radical jewel actually it refer to those jewels, but you refer to those sound made by the jewel. So yeah, when 伶俐so伶俐唔係伶俐yeah, it's the sound of the jewels. Yeah, can be the sound of the jewels and looking together. There's a 伶 and then but if the bell, the sound of the bell, you use the vertical gold because gold can be used for metals. Okay, so the bell sound also 伶 but because should use it as metals. Okay, when metals can make a sound, then there is 伶嘅鈴聲嘅電子鈴聲OK, the sound from bell, from the metals or from those electronic things 係鈴聲嘅 you should use the vertical gold. Okay. And then the lady's name usually use the vertical jewel. So and then for example you can use one word name or two word name, but of course if those are minority Chinese they might have a very long name with a few words surname or a few words name. Okay, but for Han Chinese that means most of the Chinese okay, they will have a one word name or two word name. Those those from mainland China, usually they like one word name because you know that, especially in the past year, those mainland China, usually they are not well educated, right? It's already difficult for them to think of one word name or for people to call them one word name. So usually they have one word name, but for Hong Kong people, usually they have a two word name, usually. But sometimes they also like one word name because it sounds 即係好似聽起上嚟咧，好似幾點講咧？more strict, okay? For example, if someone call 陳真咁樣 ，okay? 陳真，喂，哇 sounds strict and direct and then because you I already told you that if the sentence longer, if the sounds longer or the phrases longer, actually you make it not so direct. Make it maybe more smoothly way, okay? But some really warm direct 哦，陳真哇，好霸氣啊，好點講啊，即係strict, okay? Yeah, and then direct, frank, okay? But for two word name and then with one word surname, but someone have a two word surname, you know that we have a surname 歐陽. 歐陽 is a two character surname, yeah. It doesn't mean that he's saying Âu and then Yang. For example, his name is Âu Yang Gui, like this. And then people might think that his surname is Âu, and then Yang Gui is his name because Chinese usually is a two-word name, right? So this is not right. Âu Yang is a surname. Âu Yang Gui, the Gui is the only name. But someone may want a two-word surname and then a two-word name. For example, Âu Yang Xiao Ming like this, okay? Âu Yang is the surname, Xiao Ming is the name. But someone like Âu Yang Ming, because Âu Yang Xiao Ming 4 words. If you are punished by the teachers, you will be in great trouble, okay? you need to write more words, okay? So and yeah, so one word surname with one word name or two word surname with two word name or usually one word surname and then two word names. But we don't have first name and middle name. So when I write my name in English, because we have a two character name, right? For example, Xiao Ming, and then because each word of the each character of the two word terms has its meaning, right? But it is only one name. For example, Xiao Ming, Xiao has its meaning, Ming has its meaning. They are two individual words. But our name usually make up of two individual words, right? So it is separated. So when we translate our English name, for example, Xiao Ming, S-I-U Xiao, and then Ming, M-I-N-G. So we have a space between Xiao and Ming. And then, for example, the surname is Chen. Either we write Xiao Ming Chen or Chen Xiao Ming. They will take our middle word as our middle name. For example, Xiao Ming Chen, like this, right? When we write our Chinese name in English, right? And then they always make your middle name. For example, Xiao Ming Ming is M-I-N-G, right? So they always you have I think the U.S. or maybe all those English-speaking countries. I'm not sure. But particularly in the U.S., they usually will make your middle name. They only write your middle name with the initial only. For example, Xiao Ming Chen, then they will write S-I-U and then space and then M and then dot and then Chen. But when you just write an initial, it is not. This is not the name in our passport, you know. Someone might think that, oh, this name is not in your passport, so this is not you. Okay, you cannot prove with your passport that you have that name. But you know, when you write Xiao Ming Chen, the bank, the government, all sessions, they will change your Ming into M only. Even though you have given them documents, passport, and then already reminded that remember my name is Xiao Ming, okay? Chen is my last name, and then only the first person in contact with you, they will write down what you ask. And then later in the future document, you'll find you only have a M in between, okay? So just 有時真係唔知點算好啊！我係咪應該put the 小明 together S-I-U-M-I-N-G as one name only, so they know that this is my name, and then Chan C-H-A-N is my last name. But if I write in this way, I'm afraid that it is not not be in concordance with the passport. Okay, yeah, not exactly the same as your name in the passport. So that might be a trouble too. But I really don't know. 好難搞啊！呢個問題，我真係唔知點算啊！你教下我好唔好啊？即係應該點做，應該點寫啊？我已經特登將嗰個 SO 咧即係譬如my last name is SO 咧，我已經將個 SO 咧兩個字母咧都寫 capital letter 都寫晒出嚟咧，佢就會以為你中間嗰個係你嘅 maiden last name， 咁你最後嗰個咧就係即係是但啦，即係唔知中間你知其實係你嘅丈夫 last name 啦。咁佢譬如話佢會叫我做朱老師嘅喎，我個朱喺中間，佢叫我朱老師。我講咗好多次，我唔係朱老師，我係蘇老師啊！佢都仲係叫你朱老師嘅喎，咁樣喎，所以好惡搞啊！你可唔可以教下我？嗱，到你機會講啦，逼你講多啲啦，你講下應該點做啊？試下講廣東話啦，如果唔係你都成堂冇機會講廣東話。你覺得係咪都好搞笑啊 ？I told you that one of my family members they when they make a name for the children I already give them my advice. They have similar sound of another wordings with bad implication, but they think that it's okay. Maybe people won't think about that, but people easily will think about the similar sound of some other words. So, for example, I make some other example. For example, 美麗啦 last time I say 美麗啦 right? If your last name is then you should not use the name 美麗啦 okay? If your for example someone's last name is 賴咧you know 賴 the Chinese meaning for 賴咧you for example you make excuse then you say 賴啦sometimes we say 你姓賴嘅 that means you always make excuse okay? Or if the children they boo boo or they cannot control their urination, then that is 賴尿 or 賴屎啦. So those with the last name 賴咧 actually always become a laughing figure since they were a child. So sometimes we don't want to marry the 姓賴because if for example if your last name is 尿啦and then another one is 賴啦, then if we would like to have a banquet. Usually the Chinese like to have a banquet reunion together with the two families, right? Then they will say 聯婚啊 ，婚 means married, 聯 means union, okay? And then one 姓賴 one 姓廖咧 then you become 賴廖聯婚and then but how come you really 姓賴 then you really want to get married with 廖 and then your two family your parents really want to make the banquet together, then become 賴尿聯婚 or 賴屎聯婚and then the whole banquet people will talk about it, will make it stuff. 哎呀賴屎聯婚喎，你邊度飲啊？去賴屎嗰度，okay? So and then you know what is 賴屎賴尿啦，就means poo poo or urine, okay? 就賴屎賴尿啊，賴 means you can't control, okay? Just like children, okay? And or sometimes someone have the last name as 假啦，假 means fake, okay? So for example your name is 認真啦that means to be serious, right? Serious is good, right? But your last name is 假 that means fake, that means your seriousness is not real, okay? So 假認真 okay? You know we really have a person in our Chinese history as 假似道啊。似 means like, okay, or similar to. 道咧 means usually we refer to as the truth in Chinese concept. Truth, 道 is truth or rule or good conduct. But your last name is 假 that means fake. That means your good conduct is fake, okay? Yeah. So it's so quite troublesome if you have that last name. So what is your what's the Chinese How you write Chinese for your English last name? Have you thought of a Chinese name? Yeah. 你如果你個女要有個中文姓名咧，咁你要先為你自己諗一個中文姓先得。